Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to day 3, section 3 of Kate's TABR. She's not quite ready at the moment, so we've been told to hang on. Obviously the group ride doesn't start for another 4 minutes, so we'll see what happens, but I'm a little bit concerned that there doesn't appear to be a road. It looks like we're cross-country riding. But maybe that's just a glitch in the system and it will sort itself out once we get riding. Now I'm going to join this ride a little bit later in terms of actually cycling, or maybe I won't even be able to manage that, but I'm going to cover the complete course by setting timers, and then I will come up and turn the pedals and ensure that I'm still in the race, so that because what I do is I set the camera to Kate, and from there we stay with her for the rest of the ride. So I will most certainly be doing that. It does look like there's some glitches on IDT's part tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Nice to see Paul Douglas turning up. So at least that's the plan. Plans can change depending on what happens later on. I'm pretty tired myself because I've had a busy day ferrying the kids backwards and forwards, and I've done the last 2 group rides with Kate full. So I think I'm looking for. I know Kate's doing the whole TABR, but I'm not, and riding 100 kilometers every day is not sustainable for me with the amount of riding I do with the children, taking them to school and everything else. So it doesn't leave me any time to ride for fun, I'll be honest. Although I really am enjoying riding with Kate on this TABR. It's been a lot of fun. We had Luke out last night and Rob Stone, who are 2 of my regular riding partners in the Team 3R group rides, and it was a lot of fun. It took us 3 hours and 20 minutes to finish the session, 3 hours 15 the day before. So that's a lot of riding, and thank you to everybody that turns up, however little or however much you do. If you can manage the whole thing, then full credit to you. But if you can't, then just turning up for a short session is very much appreciated by Kate and the team. Now, Kate, just to mention to everybody that Kate is actually not responding to messages once you start cycling. So just be aware of that. Other people will pick up the chat for her, but she's not responding. Now, okay, so what I'm going to try and do now is pick up Kate. Once it's showing me going, yeah, there we go. And what we'll do is we'll get off the bike and I'll page up and see if I can pick up. Here we go, there we go, and pick up Kate. So page up, there's Kate. And I will stay with Kate now for the remainder of the ride. Now I've no idea what's happening with the terrain. It's a glitch in the system. It could stay like this. It could sort itself out. But the figure to watch is up on the right hand side of the screen, top right. You can see the speed, you can see the distance. It's currently 28.28 kilometers. It may be in miles on your system, and it shows the remaining. So this is a 100-kilometre ride, and there's a fair bit of climbing at the start, and then thankfully for Kate it's downhill. She's looking good, looking very focused. She's keeping good power numbers. I remarked on this earlier, so I'm quite positive for Kate. She's doing well. She's hitting the targets, and I see no reason why we should run into any issues here. So you can see the riders off in the distance. This is going to look rather weird to people watching it online. So it's going to lend a different dimension to the riding. Now, as I say, I'm not riding at the moment. I'm way back on the thing. I'll set a timer, and I'll be coming back before 7:30 to get back on the bike to ensure that I stay in the ride. And I will do that. I may well, after the kids have gone to sleep, I may well try and ride an hour or so later on in the evening, or maybe even a little bit more. But I'm not going to promise anything because I don't know what's going to happen with the children. Okay. As it's the early part of the ride, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link you to, I'm going to pull up and link you to the Facebook pages where you can follow the full live stream from ZMS, who are live streaming the whole of the event, the whole 4,200 miles. And we'll also pull up Kate's Facebook page as well, so you can have a look. The link to the charity is on there. I mean, that's what this is all about. This is all about raising money for myositis.org.uk. So please drop a donation on the GoFundMe page, which I'll show you in a moment, however small, because every penny counts. And we're hoping to raise $4,200 by the end of the ride. So that's $1 for every mile Kate will have completed. And I think she will well deserve it. Okay, so as I say, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and pull up the Facebook pages. So we'll see what happens. I've been having a little bit of difficulty with this of late, but we'll see whether we can get it working. Yep, there we go. There, so there's ZMS Live. Now if I do a screen capture and send that across for you, a display capture, we'll transition that across, and there you go. So this is the Facebook page that you need to go to if you want to follow the whole event live. So they live stream. There you go. You can see it's actually showing live now. So it's actually showing Kate on a road there. But you can see the website. It's Facebook, and it's called ZMS Livestream, and that's where to go to get all the latest information and the latest video. Obviously, I'd really like you to stick with mine for full coverage, because I will be covering the full race tonight, full screen, like you can see it once I close this window. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just quickly take you to the other. Here we go. K8 does TABR on RGT. So this is the other website, the other Facebook page, and here you can see that Claire has actually explained why Kate is not replying to messages, and that's because she can't focus on her numbers and everything if she's constantly got to use the keyboard and type out messages. So she's decided to stop messaging, and we'll pick that up for her. So we'll answer any queries that are directed at Kate. I'm saying we, riders obviously, who are taking part in the coverage. And I intend covering this right till the end tonight. So I'll pick up any messages that I can if they're not picked up by anybody else. But you'll also see that there's Now then, where's the link? There should be a link in here somewhere to the charity, and yeah, there we go. So you can see here, I'm showing you the link, the Just Giving link to the charity, and you can drop a donation there. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the action, so we'll close this down and we'll get back to the action. There you go. I'm going to turn off display capture, so we'll return to the normal view, which is this one with the ticker tape running and everything. Okay, so like I say, I'm going to have to shoot away for a little while now. I'm going to do something which I don't normally do, and that's put some background music on. Because if I'm not chatting and it's just totally silent, it's going to seem a little bit odd. So I found some nice background music. I'm going to play that through my speakers, and hopefully it'll be picked up and you will hear it in the background on the feed. I'll try and get the volume right by checking on it later. So let's oh dear, let's pull up the
which are all things you definitely want to avoid.
No, we don't want that one, do it? We want... Okay, let's... Just bear with me, folks, while I sort this out. I'm trying to find the right website again. There we go. Yep, there we go. Now, I've no idea how this is going to sound or how it's going to work, so we'll give it a blast and see what happens. Okay, enjoy the music, folks, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, folks. You can see that the terrain is still showing no roads. Now, this isn't normal, I have to admit. So if you're watching the stream for the first time, or you've come to RGT for the first time, this is not what we normally see. Normally there's roads which are mapped out and riding on. So this is a glitch in the system. That being as it may, we're still going to follow Kate. She's still riding the miles, or in my case the kilometers, because that's how I've got my system set up. So yours may be different. Yours may be showing miles in the top right hand corner. This is day 3 of Kate's TABR, Trans America Bike Race, and this is section 3, as you can see by the ticker tape running along the bottom of the screen. I don't know what we are total wise at the moment. I think it's about 650 miles, give or take. So already Kate's averaged more than 200 miles a day. The first day she did 289 miles. The second day, not quite sure, but something like 217 miles. So it'll be interesting to see what the mileage is today, because she's definitely riding stronger. And as I mentioned to her, what will happen is you always have highs and you always have lows. But after a few days, and particularly on day 4, what tends to happen in these longer multi-day rides is your body tends to adapt. It adapts to the different nutrition that you're sticking in your body. And Kate has already admitted that she's found some things that her body's accepted, other things that it hasn't. So nutrition is pretty important, and finding out what works for you is also pretty important. Kate also didn't have an awful lot of good sleep the first 2 days. So this is day 3. I'm hoping last night or this morning, because she's in America and I'm in Europe, I'm hoping she got sufficient rest. I know she'd had trouble sleeping the first 2 days. So good rest is also important, and I think that's why Kate's looking stronger tonight than what she did last night during our ride. So I believe Kate will get stronger and not weaker as the ride goes on, because her body will adapt. It will adapt better to the food. It'll adapt better to the not enough sleep. And obviously the muscles are growing stronger as she's progressing. So generally that's what happens with these longer endurance events. Your body will complain for the first couple of days, then you'll feel on a bit of a high. But be in no doubt, this race is going to be at least 17 days for Kate. We're hoping that she breaks the record and manages to do it in 17 days. But during that period, she's going to have more highs and more lows. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. And providing, you know, she can get used to that idea, which is a hard one to face, to be honest. You sometimes feel like a bag of spanners, and the rest of the time you feel like you're on top of the world. It's an amazing feeling riding these long distance events. And I've done quite a few of them in my time, so I know what I'm chatting about. What else can I say? Kate's looking good. She's on the long downhill now, so hopefully a bit of recovery here. But if she can finish the ride, and looking at the profile, I think she'll do that today. She's scheduled in 4 hours per section, because each section is close to 100 kilometers, or exactly 100 kilometers. Today's 100 kilometers. And so if she can finish it in under the 4 hours, then that's extra rest time for her. And I do think, looking at the pace that she's going now that today she will finish under the 4 hours quite comfortably. We did last night. We finished in 3 hours 20 last night, and that was a tough ride as well. So she did well. Day before we did it in I think 3:15. So Kate's looking good, and I think the quicker she can get through this section without obviously pushing herself over the limit, then the more rest that she can get, because she's back again for the next. She's 2 more sessions later on this evening or later on this morning, whichever time slot rather you are. So she's got 2 more to go through, 2 more sessions to go after this one. And look at, she's only done 16 kilometers of this 100 kilometer today. So a long way to go. I mean, I take my hat off to her to get up and, ride for these 4-hour stints with just that slight bit of rest in between them is pretty awesome. But if anybody can do it, we believe it's Kate, and she's got good support as well. She got friends and folks coming out for her. She's got her coaches, and yeah, she's been well looked after. But at the end of the day, this is her ride, and only Kate knows how she's feeling. But looking at the power numbers she's putting out now on the hills, she's looking strong again. We had a bit of a dip, as I said, the other night, but she's looking strong again now. The good numbers she's putting out. So I'm full of confidence. I'll just answer the chat. Just telling them that I'll ride later if I can. So again, if you want to look at the chat on screen, you can see my comments. I like Lou's comment. Don't mention how long it's taken him to get up that mini climb. Let me just answer him. You make me laugh, Lou. It's a really good community we have going here on RGT. I've not been on it that long, but I've made a lot of good friends, Lou being one of them. But yeah, it's pretty special. I love the community. I mean, I spent many years on Swift and got used to the community there, and I'm slowly building a community. Well, I'm not building. Slowly, we're sort of getting together as a community on RGT, and it's pretty good, pretty awesome. Okay, the other thing, folks, is don't forget that as well as my live stream, you can you can go to the ZMS Facebook page and watch the live stream there. Now, obviously, the live stream there involves interviews, promotional videos from the sponsors, etc., etc. It's not full coverage like I'm offering here. So I'm very biased. I think my coverage is much better than the ZMS coverage. But hey, I would say that because I'm trying to grow my channel. But you can, being the fair man that I am, you can actually go to the ZMS channel and watch the live stream there. And I'm just going to pull it up for you so that you can actually see the live stream there. So this is the, you'll see it in a moment, just when I've finished sorting it out. This is the Facebook page. Let's turn on display capture and away we go. Here we go. So this is the Facebook page that you can see. You can watch the videos live here. As I say, you can see at the moment it's running a promotion for the sponsors, which is only fair, yeah. And you can follow all the chat here on this page. What's happened on the previous days, you can see the feed here. I've been covering this since day one. We rode yesterday, we rode the day before, the full version, me and some other folks, as part of Kate's trying to gear on. And I have no doubt we'll be on the road again pretty soon as well. So that's the ZMS live stream page, but you've also got K8 does TABR, and this is Kate's own Facebook page, okay, for this race. And on here, Kate's admin is Claire. You can see Claire here, Claire Simon, or Belly Simon, and Claire is keeping us updated with what's happening. And you can see here there's a message about no reply. Now, what was found was that Kate was concentrating on replying to the messages while riding and not concentrating on the power numbers. She was drifting in and out of focus. So I think what she's probably been asked to do by her coach and probably by Riley is to forget about chatting with people. We can pick that up. The rest, we being the rest of those of us riding with her, or me commentating, can pick up the chat to leave her free to concentrate on the riding. So that was the message that was posted earlier, 2 hours earlier, yeah, 2 hours ago. And then obviously you can find the update from day three, update day three, further down, update, this is a word about the sponsors, update day 2. So you can find all the information you want on the Facebook pages. Okay, I'm going to close them down now. So let's turn off display capture, go back to the live stream and transition back across. There you go. So you can see that Kate's 20 kilometers in. If you're watching that in miles, I don't know what that is in miles, but anyway, it's a fifth of the distance. So 100 kilometers is roughly, what's that? You know, I can't even do the maths in my head. What's 100 kilometers? 80 kilometers is 50 miles. So you're looking at about 60 miles, give or take, a little bit less. I think it's 59 actually. So yeah, she's a fifth of the way there today. And you can see there's a huge downhill coming up. It's gentle at first and then it gets steeper for her. So she's going to get a good bit of recovery on this downhill while maintaining a good speed. You can see her speed at the moment, almost 40 kilometers an hour. So she's not hanging about, but she's not burning calories by putting out too many watts. I mean, she's still turning the pedals. You can see she's still putting out 68 watts of power and more. but it's not nowhere near the kind of power she'd need to put out on the flat or on the climbs. So to all intents and purposes, this is actually one of the easier stages that Kate's done. I mean, I haven't followed them all, but the ones I have followed have been pretty tough. Now, on the ZMS Facebook page, they actually show a map as well in amongst the live coverage. They show a map of where Kate is on the actual ride. They show the map of America, and it shows where Kate is positioned on the ride and whether she's leading the ride or not from the other real life competitors. Because there are people doing this race in real life. Kate decided that with COVID and everything else, that just wasn't possible. And to be honest, I think the virtual version, sitting on a trainer and doing 16 hours a day on a trainer, is actually harder than riding it in real life. But that's just my take, because I've ridden virtual events myself. A note as well, folks, if you can hit the like button for this video, please help me grow the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, because I'm going to be covering this race from start to, well, we're already into the start now, but I'm going to cover this race to the finish. Not every single section, but certainly I'm going to cover it every day. So you will get updates on where Kate is and how she's doing. And as I say, I will post videos every single day. Most of them are actually live streamed, like this one. So as we speak, we're actually live streaming. And what I have to remember as well is that I have to jump on the bike every 30 minutes in order to turn the pedals. So you see me disappear. Also, if I decide to go downstairs and check that the children are going to sleep, I'll probably turn off the camera, disappear. You'll get some background music, and then I'll return later with commentary, because I can't sit here for 3 hours commentary, and like I say, I can't ride all the event, but I am going to try a bit later on when children are asleep, which is probably going to be in at least 40 minutes, probably an hour, more like an hour. Then I'm going to try and get on the bike and complete the last section with Kate and friends. So we'll see who's left out of the rider list at the moment. Okay, on that note, folks, I'm going to leave you. Like I say, commentary will be suspended for the time being, but I'll leave you some nice background music playing, and I'll catch up with you later. No, I'm still here. Why is the camera not turning off? Okay, well, we'll have to do it manually then. Okay, folks, we're back. Let's see if we can get a picture. Oh, there I am. There we are, folks. So let's have a look what we got. 37 kilometers gone, 38 kilometers gone. So that's well over a third of the distance. Looking good. And you come into the steeper section now, folks. So we should pick up a little bit of speed for the next 40 kilometers, I would have thought. It's all downhill from here, as they say. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to join you. So I'll probably sit this one out. I mean, I'm not a big fan of downhills anyway. And I know that might sound strange, but being such a lightweight, my forte is climbing. So I don't really enjoy the downhills. I struggle on them. But the most important thing is Kate can get a bit of recovery. She can keep up the same pace, but without the same power. And that's important because don't forget, when she's finished this section, section 3, she's still got 2 more sections to complete before she finishes day 3. So not easy for Kate, I'm afraid. Hope you enjoyed the music, folks. I'll be playing the music whenever I disappear from the commentary, purely and simply because when I'm not riding, I'm not chatting away during the ride, and I think just staring at a quiet screen, for some, certainly for me, can be a little bit off-putting. I mean, unless you've got something else going on in the background. So what I've decided to do is find some nice tranquil music to play in the background. And I think it's going to improve the quality of the video. So by all means, leave a comment in the comment section if you don't like the music. But if you think it's a good idea, also leave a comment. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. We're trying to grow the channel. This is mostly RGT based. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to the 200 mark, and I'm well short at the moment. So, well, I'm about 152, I think, last count. So if you can subscribe, I'd be very, very grateful. And I put in a lot of work for RGT. I don't only cover the commentating, but I also I do an awful lot for the community in terms of running events. We run a Team 3R group ride on Tuesday and Thursdays. We have the Team 3R race series currently running on Wednesdays. So I think it's fair to say I do more than my fair share for the RGT community, and all I ask back in return is that you smash that like button and hit the subscribe. Let's see a bit of feedback. Kate's doing amazingly well. Look at the even on the downhill, she's still putting out the power. "40 kilometers in with 60 to go." So looking good. Looking good. With this downhill section, we'll see what we're at when we get to the what will it be, the 50 kilometer mark, because that will be the halfway period. And I've just been informed from the chat that the fundraising so far, they've managed to raise $1,009. Now the target was $4,200. That's $1 for every mile that Kate completes, and we're already well up on that. So keep it going, folks. I'm going to put up links in a minute to the web pages so that you can see where you can donate and where you can follow Kate. So I'll pull those up in a minute. But yes, great news to hear about the fundraising, because that's what this race is all about, supporting Myositis UK. And you can find out more about that disease. I'm just going to pull up the Facebook pages now, guys. So first of all, we'll have a look at the ZMS live stream, and just pull it up and then I'll explain what's going on with it. So here we go, display capture, transition across. There you go. So this is where you can follow the complete race being live streamed by ZMS. They live stream every single session. You can see the videos down here where you can see the mouse pointer, which I've enlarged because I couldn't see it yesterday. So there you can see the, let me get on the right page. You can see the videos are live, and you can see it's showing live here. So and what this does is you get a daily question, so you can enter the competition to answer the daily question. It shows Kate's data here live, but also this view will change and you will see the map of America. It will show you how many miles she's done in total, how many miles she's got still to go, and it will show you where she is on the map. There's also interviews with the team and guest speakers, some of which are really pretty darn good, I have to say. You can obviously make a donation on this page. There you can see the Just Giving link. I'm pointing that there, and you can also enter the competition. You get certain tickets for whichever part of the competition you're entering, and there's prizes on offer, which are going to be drawn at the end of the broadcast. So get entering the competitions, click on the link and make a subscription. Doesn't matter how big or how small, the more the merrier. And you can see now this is one of the sponsors, so the view's changing. And then of course you've got Kate's own Facebook page, and that's K8 does TABR on RGT. And here again you can find out all the information about the rides. Claire is currently the admin and she's doing the daily updates and giving information out. For example, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. We have a no reply now from Kate as she's riding, because what they were finding was that Kate was so busy typing out replies to the questions and as she was being asked or the comments being made, she wasn't concentrating on the figures and she was all over the place. So now there's supposed to be a no reply feature in place where Kate won't reply, other people will reply for her. But actually Kate is giving the odd reply now and again, but only sort of like very short direct answers. But if you've got any questions to ask, direct them at other members of the team that are riding with her, like Lou Ricks is riding with her when Riley decides to come on board, and even myself when I'm riding, or any of the other riders that are regular riding with her. We'll answer the questions for Kate if you have anything that you want to know. Okay, so that's basically what's going on. Let me just transition across the no, not that one. Turn off the display capture and then transition across. There we go. So it's quite a good broadcast. I'm starting to get on top of this software now. I'm trying to improve it on a daily basis. Add little things like showing you the web pages, music when I'm not around. I'm in studio mode at the moment, which is why you can see me wearing a t-shirt and sat in my chair. I won't be riding today. I'm busy doing other things and commentating in between, jumping up and down. So when you see me disappear, I'm replaced by some nice music for you all, and I maintain the stream live even though I'm not here, so that you can watch Kate ride the full event. I can't cover every section, but I'll do the best I can. I'll certainly cover at least one section every day, and I will also try and ride at least once every day. So I'm going to be a permanent fixture of the race, because I just think it's fabulous what Kate is doing, and the more exposure we can give her, the better. There's a lot going off in the chat. If you want to look at the chat that's coming up on screen, and Kate has just messaged now, and I'll repeat the message for those that didn't catch it. She's just said, "Thank you guys. I'll take the opportunity, since I'm going downhill, to say I appreciate all of you. I'm sorry for the lack of communication." Absolutely no need to be, Kate. I'm sorry for the lack of communication. It's extremely hot and humid here, and we don't have AC in the house. So, you know, Kate will sort of like answer when she can, but what you've got to expect, folks, is she needs to concentrate on her numbers. She needs to concentrate on the riding. So don't go asking her a load of questions that she needs to sort of like get on the keyboard and reply to, because it's really not fair when she's trying to stay focused on the ride. We will answer the questions for her, or Claire will, on the Facebook page. If there's anything really pressing, then I'm sure that somebody will will jump in here and answer the questions for you. Yeah, as Luke says, just leave us to prattle on, which is what I'm doing and what I enjoy doing. I actually love commentating on these events, not just the longer events like these kind of events, but the shorter events. I mean, I covered the Cycling Time Trials Evening 10 series when that was on, and that was just 30 minutes in length, but a really great series. I took part in one, got a PB. But yeah, I really enjoy the challenge of live streaming and commentating, because for me it's been a huge learning curve. I'd never done this kind of thing before, live streamed, chatted into a microphone, learned the software, and I'm still learning it. I'm still making mistakes almost on a daily basis, because there's just so much to learn. So when you do come across one of my videos and there's no sound, it's because something went wrong and I didn't know how to fix it on the fly. I usually manage to find out what went wrong afterwards, but if something goes wrong during the live stream, I usually can't sort it because I've no idea what I'm doing, and I'm a little bit frightened of shutting down the software during the stream because I might not be able to get back to you. So but this ride is all about Kate, and she's doing a phenomenal job, looking really strong at this point in the ride. I mean, I'll have to probably on the next stint of commentating, I'll try and pull up the total mileage covered figure for you. I'll go to the website and pull up the total mileage because I can't remember it off the top of my head. My brain is like a sieve at the moment. I don't remember anything. So yeah, and James has joined the ride and the chat. And James says that he's with Kate whenever he can, physically and mentally, as am I, the whole time. I mean, all I'm thinking about is the same as James. We're thinking about the sheer awesomeness of what Kate is doing here. Because like I said, riding in real life, I believe, is a lot easier because I've done both. I've ridden the transcontinental race in real life, and I've ridden the transcontinental race during training where, I've ridden 3-4 days on the bike. And I know which is easiest. Riding in real life is easier than riding on a trainer. It takes a lot of mental willpower to spend 16 hours a day, which is what Kate's doing, on a bike, on a static trainer. And it doesn't matter that you've got a screen to look at. It's incredibly difficult to ride that amount, both from a physical point of view, because don't forget, there's only so much moving about you can do on a static trainer. When you're out in the wild, you've all sorts of things that you can be doing to relieve the discomfort. But when you're on a static trainer, it's a lot more difficult to relieve the pressure points. And for many people, and I found out it was an issue for me initially until I managed to sort it, saddle sores are the cause of many people scratching in real life, and that problem is exacerbated in a pain cave on a trainer because of the sweat. So if you suffer from saddle sores in real life, you're going to really suffer from saddle sores on a trainer in a pain cave where you're sweating buckets. On that note, folks, I'll give you a really strong tip. If anybody is considering doing what Kate's doing here, or anybody wants to spend long hours in the saddle on a trainer, and even doing one of the, shall we say you come in and you want to do one of these 100-kilometer rides, and you're worried about saddle sores. I've tried all the creams on the market. I've tried a lot of potions from the internet, different kind of stuff. And you know what worked best for me? White vinegar. You get some white vinegar and you rub it on your parts. And it's amazing because it will sting like, if you've got any cuts or you've got any saddle sores, it will sting like mad. But it turns your skin into like a leather. It really does. It hardens up the skin to such an extent that I found that saddle sores were, this is when I was doing the endurance. I don't do it now, obviously. But when I was doing the endurance cycling, that's the way that I prepared my backside, and it worked. I mean, I didn't suffer from saddle sores. I didn't. In 2016, at the European Bike Show here in the Netherlands, I broke the Swift distance record. I cycled 52 hours and covered 1,600 kilometers. So that's pretty impressive time on the bike and pretty impressive mileage. And I never got a single saddle sore from that. And that's because I used the white vinegar to prepare my skin months beforehand. It's a trick that somebody passed on to me, and I thought, nah, that can't work. It's going to sting like hell. But it does work. If you can stand the discomfort, if you've got or existing sores, it will not only clean up the existing sores, but it will eventually turn your skin into like a leather, and you'll find that you won't get the pimples that turn into open sores. Anyway, that's enough about saddle sores. It'll be interesting. What I'd like to do is when Kate's finished this ride, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to give me an interview. And what I'll do is via Skype or via some other software, I'll sit Kate down, and we'll get a full interview with her about the ride, and we'll find out whether saddle sores was something she was suffering from during the ride. I've no water. Okay, I'm going to go off and make myself a cup of tea, and put you back on board with the music while they finish this downhill section. They're at the halfway point. Let's have a look. 1 hour 45, and they've got, I reckon they're on for about a 3:15 total time, possibly a little bit more, but about 3:15 if they can keep this nice pace going. So I'll come back in less than 30 minutes and find out where we are. Obviously, I need to climb on the bike, and I need to turn the pedals to make sure I'm not kicked out of the software. But for now, I'll pull up the music for you, and then I'll say good night for the time being. Now then, can I find the music? Turn that off for a moment. Just bear with me, folks. I'll be with you in a moment. I'm just sorting out some music for you. Looks like a good one to go for. Okay, there we go. Okay, catch you later, folks. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the music. I might have had the sound a little bit too high there. That's something else I'm learning. I need to get a pair of headphones so that I can listen to the feedback myself. But anyway, that's by the by. Where are we at? 66 kilometers done, so 2/3 done at 2:16, but the rest of it is downhill. So yes, we could be looking at about a 3:15 finish. With a bit of luck, maybe 3:20, 3 hours and 20 minutes, which will give Kate a slightly longer rest period. That would be nice. Okay, just doing a bit of admin. So, who's left riding with her? We've still got Lou, we've still got Rob, we've got JJ, it looks like he's going all the way. Paul Douglas. Oh, I can see Samia's joined. Samia, maybe you can answer what's happened with the road, sir. Why have we not got roads and why are we riding across the fields? Let's see whether he's put anything in the chat. Okay, Paul, thank you. Paul's now leaving the ride. See if I can message him in time. Yeah. He's probably already answered, but I'm going to ask the question. There we go. I'll ask the question. So hopefully Samir will see that and answer me. You can see from the downhill that they're almost at the bottom of the steepest part of the slope. So let's hope they can keep the pace up and finish in about an hour. It's nice to see so many sticking with it though and staying with Kate. Okay, let's also answer the question that was asked about Kate's sleep. Right, that's messaged and answered the question from earlier. So, as I put in the message, Kate has 2 more sections to ride before she can get a proper sleep, before she gets the longest break. Now, my time, I think those sections, the next one, what time are we on now? It's 9:22 Central European time now, and I'm pretty sure she's got a bit of a break. I think it's midnight CET when the next one starts, but then she starts the one after that at 4 o'clock, 0400 CET. So it's a pretty tough schedule that she's got. Actually, she'll get a half decent break now when she finishes this section, if she finishes earlier, because originally she would have had to go back on a little bit earlier in the evening, but they've changed the timings, and I think that gives her longer before she has to get back on the bike, if you can call 2 hours longer. But whatever time we save here on this ride, because the scheduled finish time for this ride is 23:10. Is it 11 o'clock? Yeah, I think it's 11 o'clock, because they schedule 4 hours for each section of 100 kilometers. And if Kate finishes earlier, then obviously she gets more rest. So this is going to finish hopefully in about an hour. So she's going to have at least, she's going to have at least an hour and a half break before she has to jump back on the bike. But this is not going to take her an hour now, I hope. I hope we can... But it's pretty damn awesome, folks, when you think about just what she's doing here. Having to get off the bike and then, like, just over an hour later, get back on the bike and do another 100 kilometers. Then, have an hour break and then get on the bike and do another 100 kilometers. It's mind blowing. And as I said in my earlier commentary, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. Can't get my words out. Kate's going to go through all kinds of different emotions with it, because sometimes she'll feel on top of the world, especially after she's had a decent rest. And other times she's just going to feel absolutely so tired and dead on her feet. And that's the times when you have to just get through it, stick with it, get through it, and wait for the next high. But there will be lows. Okay, what's happening in the chat? Let's see if we can catch up. Okay, so tomorrow on the ZMS broadcast, they having a chat with Mark Allen, the 6-time Ironman world champ. So that's going to be worth watching for. This is ZMS that are putting this news out. I mean, Mark Allen, one of the best triathletes out there, so that's certainly going to be worth listening to. Yeah, and Lou's just confirming what I've just said, that the next section is 6 p.m. Eastern time, which is basically in 2.5 hours. So yes, at midnight our time. ZMS also announcing that along with Mark Allen, they're going to have Dr. Phil Maffetone, and he's the guy that created math training. So again, that'll be worth watching out for. Mary's saying goodbye. And obviously, going back to math training, they're the people that worked with Mark Allen. So there's a bit of a tie in there. I can see why they brought them both together. And Lou's just asking Nick and Rob, that's JJ and Rob Stone, whether they're going to finish with Kate, and they both confirmed that they are. So that's really good news. And Luke's going to drop off and then come back for the second half of the next ride. So he's obviously planning on getting some sleep and then joining later, which is really kind of him. But Lou lives in America, so he's on the same time frame as Kate. Whereas it's evening here. Obviously, it's not evening over on the eastern coast of America. So 26 kilometers left to ride. Still going downhill, but it starts to flatten out somewhat. Not entirely, but it's going to drop the average speed. So they're going to have to work pretty hard on this next section. And just to explain, folks, for those that didn't catch me earlier when I said it, what's happening here with the terrain, you'll notice that they're riding across open, barren moorland. This is not normal. This is RGT not drawing the graphics for the ride. It's not showing the roads as it normally would. So this is not what you normally see when you ride on RGT. The glitch in the system, which I'm sure somebody will have a look at for the rides later on this evening. And I'm going to try and join the ride number 1, day 4, which is 11 o'clock in the morning my time. That's the one that I can possibly jump in on after dropping the girls off at school and doing the few house chores I need to do, and then seeing if I can get the time to get on the bike. It's a bit of a tight fit because I have to pick the girls up again from school, one of them at 2 o'clock and one of them at 3 o'clock. So it's a case of juggling my time and trying to get on when I can. It's easier in the evenings if I can well, not if I can, if Hilke can get the girls to bed and we can get them to both go down. But I was just too tired this evening. I had a tough day. I do 2 hours cycling every day with the girls because it's a 30-minute trip to take Charlotte to her special school, 30 minutes back, so that's an hour, and I have to do that twice a day, as well as picking Natasha up from her school. So I have to try and juggle my cycling with what I have to do at home and on the bike for the children. The yeah. Thought I'd try something new. That's just Rob saying that he likes the music. Yeah. Excuse me, folks, while I just loosen up my shoes, they're pinching my toes. And there we go. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an iPhone video of my setup here in the pain cave, so you can actually see, because I'm sat here in my chair in what I call my studio, but in reality it's a very small attic. The bike's on one side to me, just over there. The monitors are in front of me here with the camera pointing at me. As you can see, I can look directly into the camera now. That's one camera. I have another camera over there which catches me when I'm doing the live cycling. Microphone is just in front of me on a boom arm, and I've got three monitors just in front of me here. This one here is showing the live feed. This one is showing the preview of the live feed, so that when any changes I make happen on the preview first. And then the one down here is showing the software, the OBS Studio software. So it's a decent setup I've got. I've got a very high-end graphics card which can handle all this. I don't use CPU, I use the GPU for all the live streaming and recording. And it handles it, to be honest. I get 60 frames a second. You can actually see, in fact, at the moment, I'll just use my mouse pointer. You can, oh, what's happened there? Oh dear, sorry about that. I just caught the mouse wrong. Yeah, if you look up at the top corner, left corner here, where I've shown with the mouse pointer, enlarged mouse pointer, I might add, you can see I'm currently getting 120 and above frames per second. And this is while I'm recording, I'm live streaming, and I'm putting my output onto 3 monitors. So you can see, and it's handling it. I noticed downstairs when I checked on my feed downstairs on my laptop that the YouTube output is normally reduced to 720 if you try to watch it live. I think this is going out in HD because my my graphics card is doing most of the rendering in the time between it being recorded and it being sent to YouTube. There's a lag of about I think about 20 seconds, and in that 20 seconds my GPU is converting it from 720 to HD format, so it's pretty damn good. But I've worked a long time to get this sorted and to try and get it right, and I'm still not there. I still so much to learn. I mean, I'm constantly messing around with the settings, trying to find the most productive settings. But it's nice to see such a high frame rate and the system working as it should. Had a couple of glitches in the last few weeks with the sound where, for some unknown reason, I mean, I have a switch that turns the microphone on and off, and on my Stream Deck, and for some reason, on 2 occasions, the sound, even though the microphone icon was lit up, the sound wasn't working, and I just couldn't fathom what was going on. Restart the system, and then all of a sudden it starts working. But you can't reset the system when you're live streaming, else you lose your stream. I mean, you can, but it's not very professional if you're shutting everything down and losing everybody. So sometimes, I just let it record without the sound, and just I just have to grin and bear it. But that's one of the reasons why I've introduced music to my videos as well, so that if I'm not chattering away like I am doing now, there's nothing for viewers to listen to, because they can't hear the sound of me on the train or of me gasping for breath. So I can see it as being a little bit boring for anybody trying to watch the feed. So what I've done is I've introduced music as a means of hopefully setting the mood for the ride. And I try to choose music that fits with the ride. And this being such a long endurance ride, I'm sort of choosing really moody music, calming music, because I'm trying to sort of like give the impression that this is a nice downhill they're on. I'm trying to give the impression that this, we're calming the riders. Certainly Kate, if she's able to listen to it. She's riding so well. 21 kilometers left. So that's yeah. I don't think I'm going to be far wrong in my estimate. I think they're going to finish about 3:15, 3:20, probably 3:20, give or take a minute or two. So they're doing well. Yeah, and of course, ZMS have just announced in the chat that Kate appreciates the support but may not respond because she's concentrating on a ride. And that's the message that, remember when I showed you the Facebook page earlier? That's what Claire Bell was also saying, that Kate may not respond because obviously she needs to concentrate on keeping those numbers where she wants them. Oh, what's happened to the system? You know, I've mentioned all that about the system, and now look, we have a... What's going on here? Oh, I hope this isn't my end. Okay. No, there's definitely something going on here, folks, and I don't know what. And this is what I mean about you can be sat here. I don't know whether this is RGT's end or whether it's my end. We've no way of knowing. I just get the... There we go, we're back. Okay, we're back again. It's really frustrating because you just don't know what causes that. I don't know whether it's the RGT servers or whether it's my end. I mean, I'll look at the analytics later and the log, and perhaps I can try and work out what went wrong there, whether it was me dropping frames or what, but it can be very frustrating. And the temptation for some would be to sort of like restart the system there, but you saw I just left it and hopefully it comes back up. It's a tough call though, because you don't want to lose, you know, so close to the end of a ride, you don't want to lose the feed. That would be unforgivable, really. While we've got a bit of time, I'll just explain to you, to record these videos, I'm using, there's Rob coming up fast, I'm using RGT spectate mode. And what you have to do with spectate mode is you have to climb on the bike every 30 minutes because it only allows you 30 minutes of spectating, even if you're following, like I am doing here, the same rider. I'm hoping in the future that RGT will give us a broadcast mode where we don't have to climb on the bike, because sometimes I forget. I don't get on every 30 minutes and I'm actually kicked out of the event. Now, if it's a group ride, you can rejoin, but if it's a race, you're done and dusted for the night. And that can be very, very frustrating. So I'm going to jump on the bike now, actually. But what you can do with spectate mode is you can flick around, you can change the view, you can zoom in like that, zoom out, and it's pretty cool what you can do with it. I love it. The only thing I don't love is having to do what I'm doing now, which is go away and jump on the bike. So just bear with me, folks. I'll be back with you in a moment. Oh, what's happened now? Oh, this is... Okay, I'm hoping you can hear me, even though you can't see me. Let's see if we can... there I am. Let's see. I suspect that this is RGT's end because you can see that the rest of my system's working. So, oh, I hope the servers don't crash. Because for Kate to lose the end of the ride would be pretty poor. Come on, come back. I'm not going to try restarting or anything, folks. In fact, it is RGT's end because the app isn't working. Okay, so it's definitely a problem at the RGT side of things. I'm sat here trying to get back. Okay. None of the buttons are working on the app. Oh, this is really upsetting, so close to the end. Because the thing is, folks, that Kate can't re-ride sections if it crashes her out. I mean, she's on a schedule. Now, normally what would happen in a big event is they would give riders the opportunity to ride again the section that crashed. But Kate obviously can't do that. So I don't know what's going on here. My broadcast is still going out, so everything's working on my end. The phone app, let's see, can I show you? The phone app is just hung. There's nothing, none of the, let me see if I can show you, none of the buttons is working. Like I'm pressing the chat button there and nothing's working. Even the stop button is not working. Okay, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and see if I can quit out of the app and then come back in the app. So let's close the app down. Okay, I'm going to have to close this down as well, folks. Mind you, I don't think it's going to let me, is it? It's not even going to let me. There we go. RGT screen is not responding. Close the program. Okay, so it's closed. Okay, I'm going to try firing it back up again, folks. See what happens. There's the let's do the screen capture so you can see what's happening. Transition that across again. So you can see I'm trying to get it back up and running. Let's fire up the app, RGT. Okay, so here we are. Now the question is it going to let me rejoin it? You can see it's building the scenery. Although this didn't work too well, did it? I've no idea, folks, what we're going to find when we get in. Whether we're going to find Kate has continued riding. I don't suspect so. You can't ride if you don't have a road or a field to ride on. This is pretty upsetting. But there's not a lot you can do. About 77% at the moment. Taking a while to build the road. Okay, so you can see there I am. Now the rest of them are moving, thankfully. So let's find Kate. So if I use the page up button, there's Rob, there's Kate. Now how 15 kilometers to do. So I don't know whether maybe we might be lucky. I'm gonna have to message them and find out, did it crash for them? Maybe they didn't crash. Maybe it was just my connection to the server that crashed. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, Rob's saying fantastic. I don't care if it does it for me, Rob, as long as Kate's okay. That's the most important thing, because she can't redo the mileage. Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, that's cheered me up no end. Thanks, Rob, for letting me know. You must be listening to my broadcast. Oh, dear. I'll be back on it tomorrow, Rob. Myself, I just done too much today and couldn't really spare the time. I mean, I could have gone on for 30 minutes or so, but I've been jumping up and down all evening, so I've given today a miss and I'll get back on it tomorrow. So 13 kilometers left. And then Kate can have a couple of hours. Yeah, a couple of hours break. Or at least an hour and a half. Oh, excuse me. It was a late night last night because I hadn't had anything to eat prior to doing the ride. So I rode last night's ride, the 100 kilometers. I rode it all on an empty stomach. I had 2 bottles of water and a banana for the whole 100 kilometers, which is not recommended, folks. Don't follow my example. So by the time I got off the bike, I would normally have just had a shower and gone to bed. But I was so hungry, I went downstairs and ate a full meal, well, a snack type meal. But then I had to let it settle because I couldn't go to bed straight afterwards. So I ended up being up until about 1 o'clock in the morning. And obviously, I'm up really early with the girls, getting them ready for school. So I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm feeling pretty tired myself. So I can sympathise with what's happening with Kate. I mean, she's getting, what, a couple of hours at most? But as I've said previously, I've been there myself when I did the transcontinental. And this is the thing that I mentioned in my commentary earlier, folks. Actually doing a real life event, I think, is easier than doing an event on the trainer. And the reason being is when you're doing a real life event, you sort of like, you sort yourself out for some sleep and you more or less crash out, and then, you wake up and you're back on the bike, and off you go again. When you're on the trainer, it's just so difficult to sort of like get off the bike, get the kind of sleep you need, and then get back on again. And that's why I'm so impressed with this ride from Kate, because, like I say, I found the training for Transcontinental, which, for those that don't know, the Transcontinental race is a 4,000 kilometre plus ride across Europe. Totally unsupported, like this is for Kate. And I actually found the training for Transcontinental much harder than the Transcontinental. You go to places in training that really set you up for doing a real life event. And if Kate can, I'm saying when Kate finishes this virtual Trans-America bike race, she will have no problems whatsoever with the mental side of doing the real race, because doing it virtually is, I think, and speaking to other ultra endurance cyclists, doing it virtually is much, much harder than doing it in real life. Just coping with the mental aspect. I mean, when you're in real life, you've obviously got the scenery, and you've got all the stimulation from things happening around you, the places you pass through, the beautiful places you pass through, the people that you meet, and just going for like a meal in McDonald's can be a real highlight and can really lift you when you're in the middle of a real life race. But when you're doing it virtually, you've none of that. You've none of that stimulation. You've none of that sort of like lift you can get from passing a beautiful sight out on the real road, or passing through a beautiful town, or climbing a real mountain in real life and getting to the top and looking down the other side. Those are things which you can't replicate on a virtual ride, and that's what you miss. And so anybody that attempts this kind of riding virtually has got to be strong mentally. Very few people can do it. They wrote an op-ed about me and the Transcontinental, and what they did was they sort of like chose a few riders to say, who was going to do what in the race. And they put a question mark next to me because they said, can Derek transfer his virtual rides? Because I'd already broken the Swift distance record then and held the record for the longest indoor distance. So I'd already broken that record, but it didn't even put me in anywhere near the top 10 in terms of, was I going to be able to transfer that into real life riding? And the answer is no, you can't. It doesn't matter how much training you do indoors. The only side of it that it improves, and the reason why I think if Kate puts in a really good performance virtually here, then it gives you it gives you the confidence that mentally you can cope with the real life ride. And then what you've got to hope for is the difference between doing virtually and real life is in real life things can go wrong and go horribly wrong. I mean, on my first transcontinental race, I got food poisoning and I continued to ride. I rode for 4 days, having almost nothing to eat. Seriously, I was eating, I was eating yogurt and I was eating other types of food, liquid type foods, because I couldn't keep anything down. And even the yogurt was coming back, and it was coming back both ends. Too much information, I know, but and that all happened because this was back, I think, was it 2016, 2017? It was during the heat wave that was called what do they call it? It'll come to me. Anyway, it was the major heat wave that the whole of Europe was going through. And I bought some bread rolls and some cheese and some ham slices from a supermarket, and I stuck them in my pack, because that's what you do. You quickly go into a supermarket, you pick up your supplies, and then you head off, and then obviously you eat your supplies the next time you're taking your rest break. And so I ate a sandwich with cheese and ham that had gone off, and I didn't know it had gone off, but it had gone off in less than a day because of the heat. I mean, it was over 30 degrees, and the ham had gone off, and I ate it, and within hours I was suffering stomach cramps, and then the stomach cramps turned to food poisoning. And that lasted 4 days, and then I had to call it quits because I was literally not able to cycle it. Like I'd gone from cycling really, really strongly to not even being able to manage 10 kilometers an hour. So I called it quits. And that was one of the hardest and toughest things. And I've done some pretty tough, stupid things in my life, but that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with, in terms of personal, physical, and mental sporting achievements. I think I can put that right up there with, I mean, I climbed the highest mountain in Europe and taken up a group of climbers that had never climbed before. And that was a hard challenge, but having to quit the transcontinental when feeling so good at the start was just absolutely awful. So the point of my story, folks, is that Kate can smash this virtual ride, but when it comes to the real life ride, you just don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. You can have mechanicals. I had mechanicals in my second TCR. I broke the rear mech. I managed to source another one from a bike shop, but that ended up costing me 2 days because it happened on a Friday, and I had to wait until the bike shops in the country I was in weren't open over the weekend. So I had to wait until the Monday for the bike shop. So all kind of things can go wrong in real life, whereas when you're in your own pain cave virtually, yes, things can go wrong, but not to the same extent. I mean, there's nothing you can't fix. If something breaks on your bike while doing the virtual ride, you're going to be able to fix it, or you're going to be able to get another bike or whatever. You're certainly going to be able to solve it. But imagine doing that in an Eastern Bloc country where you've absolutely nobody, no one around, I mean, to help you, which is why it's unsupported. For those of you that are interested in my prattling on and my stories. What I'm actually I've been wanting to do for quite some time now, and I finally decided to take the leap. I'm going to actually tell my story in like a vlog format. So I'm going to start another YouTube channel up separate to this one. I mean, I'll link in cycling related stories, but I'm basically going to tell the story of my life, and in particular the period where, you know, I sold my home, my business, my car, gave all my possessions to charity, and set off to cycle around the world after the doctors told me I only had 12 months to live. 2.5 years later, I was still cycling. So I'm going to tell that story, but there's a lot more to it than just the story about riding around the world. A lot more to it. And I'm looking forward to doing that because I've a lot of baggage, mental baggage still. I suffer. Some of you will know this. Some of you that know me will know this, but some of you may find it surprising. I don't come across as somebody that suffers from depression, but in truth, I do. I suffer terribly. I've beaten cancer, but cancer wasn't the worst illness I've suffered. I mean, I lost my wife, my mother, my sister, and many other members of my family to cancer, but it's not been the worst disease. The worst disease by far has been the depression. And if I'm really honest, the biggest surprise is the fact that I'm still here. And the strength that is required is just something I need to talk about. I need to tell people about, because it's not been easy. I mean, I'll give you one very short story, and then perhaps you can try and understand where I'm coming from in terms of trying to cope with things that happen in your life and trying not to let the depression rise to the surface. My wife died of cancer. Now they gave Caroline, my wife, 18 months to live, and she died 9 weeks later. So the doctors got it totally wrong, but you can't really blame the doctors because cancer can take you at any time. But she died after just 9 weeks, so we never had the chance to prepare. We never had the chance to really say goodbye to each other. And I'd been married for more than 20 years to Caroline, so, you know, it was pretty traumatic. But then 2 days later, I get a knock on my door from the police, and there's 2 police women stood there and asking if they can come in. So this is 2 days after my wife had died, and they informed me that my only remaining sister, and I'm one of 8 children, and my only remaining sister has died. So I lost 2 of the people I loved most in the world within 2 days. So what I want to try and do in the blog that I'm going to start, in the video blog, I'm going to try and tell the stories and see if I can't help other people and help myself, because I have a lot of demons. I've still got to try and come to terms, and I've never really addressed it. I've never spoken really about a lot of the issues I have, and I need to. And I'm at the age now where I'm running out of time. I still carry all this baggage around with me, and you wouldn't know it, from the things I do on on the platforms and this, and I mean, I've been a member of Swift, one of the biggest teams on Swift, a member of that team, and I help to get them where they are. So I've always been sort of like interested in other people, in helping the community. So you wouldn't sort of like expect me to come up with a story that I suffer from debilitating depression, but I do. And sometimes it can be very, very difficult. But what keeps me going is the two small children. And again, I'll tell you more about that story at a later time. Anyway, enough about me. This is about Kate. This is about Kate's ride across America in the Trans-America bike race, and 5.5 kilometers to go. She's looking good. I mean, I've made some amazing friends, on RGT. I think I'm a very outgoing type of person, but it doesn't really tell the story, because I can be quite. It's funny. You can be somebody else. You can be somebody different online. Yeah, but I've made some amazing friends. I mean, Kate came along on one of our group rides, and we sort of like we hit it off right from the get-go. Rob Stone. He's an amazing character, folks. I don't really know him. I wish I did, but what I do know of him is he's an amazing character. You've got Luke Jeffries, who's a member of Team 3R, and I'd like to call him my friend. He's a smashing bloke. You've got Lou Ricks, another good friend. Riley, I could name a lot of people, and although I don't really know them, I consider them my friends, because RGT has built up that community, brought us together. We all, James Ogilvy is another one. We share a passion for putting on events and bringing races to the community. And it's really done me good to be a part of that community. And I think this is why I do it, because it's not just helping me, but it's giving something back. Because when I do finally tell my story, you realize how much I've been helped by other people. And I'm in the situation where I always feel that I have to give something back. That's just the way my brain works. And RGT is a fantastic opportunity to do that, to get stuck in, to put on events, we run the Team 3R group rides on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're 1900 hours Greenwich Mean Time, which is 2000 hours CET. Now, I put them on even when I can't attend myself, which just recently, obviously, I haven't been turning up for the rides because I've been busy doing this and sorting out my own race series, which is the Tour of Sicily on a Wednesday nights, and that's under the Team 3R banner. So everything I put on is under the Team 3R banner. Came across from Swift to try and build Team 3R on RGT. What they didn't tell me was, hey, Derek, would you like to go to RGT and try and improve 3R's presence over there? Yeah, I'll give it a go. What they didn't tell me was, okay, bye-bye, that's the last we'll see of you. Goodbye. You're not getting any help, by the way. We're just, we're staying here on Swift. You just go and do it all yourself. And that's basically what happened, folks. I've had no assistance other than there's a guy called Michael. He came across and helped me initially, but I've had nobody helping me on RGT from Team 3R, which I find very strange. I've asked for them to turn up for races and things, and only one member to date, a really nice lad called Stephen Brealey, has turned up. So I don't know what it is. The Orange crew don't want to try something new. And I think if some of them did, I think if some of them raced on RGT, they'd love it. Because the drafting is real, the dynamics is more real life than Swift. And I'm speaking from experience because I spent, what is it, 2015? So I spent 6 years on Swift. But we're getting off topic again. Kate, 3 kilometres to go. Still looking strong. Look at the wattage she's putting out. So she's still going strong. And don't forget, she's back on the bike in what? She's back on at 12 midnight. So in about an hour and 35, 40 minutes. Not much of a break when she considered that she's got another 100 kilometres to ride, and then she's got to do it again at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just absolutely awesome. She's still pushing out good figures. But what's really nice is the fact that, you know, these riders, JJ, Villanova, Shackleton, he's a regular. He's been here regular. I mean, Rob almost always rides the full ride. He rode the full ride with me the other night. So Luke was here earlier, but I think he had to get off, so Luke couldn't stay. But it's just nice that a couple can. And I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, I know that Kate really, really appreciates everybody that rides with her, but especially those that are able to do the distance. Now then, I wonder whether we'll get a finish banner or whether it's just going to end on the moor. You're all on TV. They're already all on TV, ZMS. I'm hoping that we get some people watching this. Anyway, there's the like button. Don't forget to hit it, okay? Hit the like button when you finish watching the video. And please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Yeah, pleasures, Kate. Kate's just thanking me for live streaming. So to get some rest. Yeah, you do, Kate. That's what I say. Just get as much rest as you can, love. We're all rooting for you. And I'll be back to check on you in the morning. Thank you so much, Rob, for staying with her. And JJ, you JJ. Fantastic riding. Because it's not easy. Wonderful effort. Well done, girl. Yeah. I mean, look, 2.7. I mean, that's, you know, could you push out that kind of wattage, folks, after, you know, she's at day 3, end of session 3. She's 2 more sessions to go, and she's just smashing it. And it's unfathomable. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And here she is. She's just about to get 600 meters to go. Come on, Kate. Bring it home. And I wasn't far wrong with my prediction. I said 320, so just a little bit, give or take. I said 320, give or take a minute or two. So yeah. And you see, the thing is, this is, whoa, there we go. What's happened there? Okay, right. Okay, well, I can't get back in time. It's kicked me out. So well done, Kate. We got you to the finish. I'm going to end the broadcast there and say good night. Watching, folks. As I say, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We need to grow the channel, and then I can produce more of these videos and persuade my wife to let me spend a bit more time. And we'll see you in the next one, which is going to be tomorrow. So let's close everything down. Let's just put up the thanks screen. There you go, folks. I'm going to call it a night. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.